Planning Commission, discussion on water and sewer planning and funding.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having us this evening, because we're here in force, I guess one would say. But I think just starting off, I mean, thinking about why we would like this study to be undertaken. And it's really a needs assessment or an overall assessment of what our problems are, and to see whether or not we're impacting our groundwater, which ultimately impacts our health and our drinking water. So, at least from my perspective, that's an important one. And Larry has more to add. But I think that we also want to, we know that we have Marie here tonight who's going to be talking about the fact that we do have impaired water quality in the West River. And there is a section on how it's impacted. So we already know there are some problems.
So coming into town and going out of town, it's all in good shape, which is great. The impaired reach we have is this dark blue line here. So and this is impaired strictly for the bacteria levels in the water of the West River. So it's not the bugs, it's not the fish, it's the level of bacteria that we're testing. So kind of above and below South Londonderry Village, we have picked up bacteria problems for a long term. This has been going on for a very long time. And so this is officially listed as an impaired water. And I'm sure you've all heard stories about Lake Champlain and all the mess that they're going through up on Lake Champlain, and the TMDL, the total maximum daily load for phosphorus that everybody's working on. We have right here in South Londonderry a TMDL for bacteria. So while it's not the state's top priority to address the TMDL, we have other larger bodies of water that need help. It is an officially impaired water to EPA. And at some point, who knows when, down the line, they're going to come to the state and say, you got to deal with this. And you got to clean up the bacteria in the West River.
Does that potentially position us better for funding for mitigation?
From DEC it does.
And from USDA rural development it does.
All right. See, it's good to be bad sometimes. So that's the impaired reach, and what that's coming from. It's not going anywhere. We'll try that one. So what we work with, the organization, I said the SAVWA, Southeastern Vermont Watershed Alliance, has been monitoring, well, it's actually been monitoring for decades, but this data starts in '06. So these are the sites that we've been monitoring throughout Londonderry, on and off over time. And the reason specific sites are done on and off is because we start here. We start at the top and we start at the bottom and we find a problem. And the downstream site has bacteria, but the upstream site might not. So then we go, okay, well, let's move the upstream site closer and see if there's bacteria there and here. And so we keep, maybe the bacteria continues downstream, so we go downstream some. So we keep moving the sites along, trying to narrow in on where the source might be coming from. And in this time, we still haven't quite figured it out. And what that tells me is that, so these are some of the numbers, the 2018 numbers. Anything in red, in this case, or highlighted in yellow, is too high. The top one is between Londonderry and South Londonderry at the Route 100 bridge.
That's my house.
So you're in Lake. We're good then. No. And the lowest site is Rose Road, just north of where Thompsonburg Brook comes into the west. And we also do, actually, that last one is Floodbrook. So we've started testing Floodbrook just for a couple of years. And even that has some bacteria in it, which is actually a little disturbing, because that's your water source. Your town wells are somewhat connected to Floodbrook, so you want to be careful with that one.
That
But-
enters the West River right by your house too, right?
Yeah, actually, our swimming hole is just
Junction.
below that testing site.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And it's only tested 18, 17, the one on the bottom, on the left, the bottom one there is actually the same site. And it didn't have any overages on that particular, in 17, so,
It did last year.
yeah.
As a matter
Yeah,
of fact,
two of them.
I saw the report for June.
Yeah, the 20th.
The evening of July 4th, when my husband and I had gone out and sat in the river to cool off, and then I happened to be looking over and I saw the bacteria count, and I thought, let's not do that again.
But June 3rd it was fine. July
No,
3rd
July
it was
3rd.
fine. July 3rd it was good. It cleared out by then, so you were good. But, you know, that's exactly why you want to think about this kind of project, because people use the river, and there's a problem.